Welcome to Copy Chief Radio. Today's show is a new breed episode where today's most innovative marketing and copywriting stars share their most effective methods for optimizing results in the fast-changing world of direct response marketing. To check out all the Copy Chief Radio episode types, go to copychief.com/CCR. Hey, it's Kev. Welcome. Appreciate you being here. I'm on today with Arthur Lih. What an amazing story you're about to hear of a man who was inspired to invent a device that can stop anyone from choking in seconds. And, you know, something that we don't think about until we have to, and then it's often too late, sadly. I can tell you that I choked for the first time about a year ago. I was in a restaurant with my wife and our kids and some friends. It was, you know what it was? It was a, those rangoons, and they got the crispy outer shell, and it was just sort of lodged in my throat there. Fortunately, like I didn't panic, but my wife is one of these people who's always waiting to save somebody from choking. It's a bit of a, I don't mean to sound weird, but it's almost like a fantasy of hers. She really wants to be the person to be there, right? If she can help. And so I gave her the official, hey, yeah, it's happening. She very excitedly squeezed in behind me and began the Heimlich. Fortunately for me, it didn't take much for this thing to just sort of, become dislodged and go down. And I was fine. And I just went back to eating. But it was enough for the whole restaurant to stop and to look our way and, a server to come over and make sure I was okay. I mean, so for us, it's kind of a story we tell, almost with humor, because it went the way it did. Imagine now being in a scenario where it's not so easy and things don't turn out so well. And especially if it's a loved one, in worst case scenario, a child, your child choking, and you don't know what to do and you can't stop it. And so Arthur, on that extreme, high note, I'm going to bring you in because this is where the story begins for you, I believe. And first of all, welcome.
Hey, it was very common what happened to you. And first off, thank you. Thanks for having me on and for sharing your story and the beginning of the awareness of how common a choking emergency is.
Yeah. And for you, it started in a hospital.
Yeah, it was just call it God wink in my world. I was visiting a friend that just keeping him company, and he pointed across at a steel gurney, and he said, last time I was here, there was a 7-year-old child on that gurney that had died. I choked to death. My daughter was 7, and I kind of got that feeling, and I could see her on the gurney, and I've had a loved one pass in my arms, and I said, okay, what the heck? We're in the hospital. He said, yeah, nothing worked. They did the abdominal thrust, chest compressions, everything. And then he started talking about how the parents and the noise of the staff and the mother wailing. And I said, this is crazy. And I had taken the course when my daughter was born, but I was never told that it didn't always work. They kind of said, oh, just do it until the object comes out.
Yeah.
That night, I started just researching it to see if there was anything out there, how common, what else I could do. There really wasn't. I found out how often it doesn't work, that 5,000 plus a year choke to death, 4th leading cause of accidental death, one child every 5 days. Yeah. And I determined that it wasn't going to be my child.
Wow. And so what do you do then? You say, okay, I mean, a simple premise. I mean, and this equates so much to what we do in our world of marketing, creating products, solving problems, essentially what we do, solve problems in creative ways. And so this is the penultimate example of that. Are you an inventor? What were you leaning on? What made you think you could come up with something to fix this?
Well, I'm a, baby boomer. I didn't know you could hire someone to fix your house or your plumbing or your car. We did it all ourselves, Yeah. So I went in my shop and I had researched some of the forces involved, and I said, okay, I need something really simple. And I had made a couple things that didn't work, or they would have worked, but they were too complicated. I just came up with a simple sink plunger. I modified it for a face mask, and checked the forces, and I was like, I think I got it. I'm just a parent, and I wanted something that was as panic proof as possible, and that's the LifeVac. Just put it on, push it, and pull it till the thing comes out. That's what I wound up with.
Incredible. My big question about this, since I heard about it, how do you test this thing?
Yeah, you weren't alone in that question, and that's why everyone involved is people I've known my whole life, because they're the only ones that said, you know what, we're in, because that was the biggest problem. We did independent tests on the forces to make sure they were sustainable for the removing the object and not hurting you. Turns out it's perfect as far as the number. And then we did trials on mannequins, and then we did cadavers, and then the leap of faith time, that why it doesn't exist, because no one's crazy enough to do it, but I felt we needed to and put it out there. And since then, we've had 4 peer-reviewed journals on actual saves. We got 166 now, I believe, 71 children. So the leap of faith, I think it'll work to putting it out there, turned out beneficial for 71 parents, man, because I can look at my walls and see the kids we've saved.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing.
What a calling. I mean, to just like, I love how you just took such a practical approach to it. I think it's an important lesson in there too. You just went, all right, what would it be? Like, we have to extract a thing that is lodged into an airway and it doesn't want to come out, and trying to push air behind it, which is Heimlich,
right,
doesn't sometimes work. So we've got to do the opposite, I guess. We got to pull air in front of it, enough force, I guess. We'll pull anything out. Yeah.
Your mind sounds like you could have been sitting next to me in the garage with my glue and my my saw. But because you're right. When I studied and I realized, I saw the forces generated by the Heimlich, but what the problem is, it's a random force generator, right? You're big, you're small, you're sitting, you're in a wheelchair. The rescuer is small and you're big. So there's a lot of variables that can create zero force or not enough force. So I said, well, if it's outside the body and it has a measurable force, which is 300 millimeters of mercury on the LifeVac, doesn't matter. You're big, you're small, the rescuer is big, you're small, you're in a wheelchair, you can't be Heimlich. It doesn't matter. It'll work. And like you said, my brain had said it's got to be super simple. It's got to be cost effective. It's got to last forever. And that's what I came up with.
It's amazing. It gives me a feeling of, I picture the scene when I held this thing in my hands and I thought, who's crazy enough to not know about this and have it in their trunk? I imagine, like, I guess I have hero fantasy, same as my wife. I think we all do. Who doesn't want to be a hero? And you pull up on a scene and there is someone frantically trying to Heimlich somebody. It's not working. Time is ticking. You open your trunk, you pull this out, you casually walk over, you say, step aside, bip, bip, pop.
You got it. Yeah, man, that's exactly right. And it's happened. The first child I met, I got to meet the first baby we saved. He was going to be 1. And that awe of holding him and realizing that he was saved is just that hero fantasy times 1 billion, and I'm looking at his little face and I'm saying, well, you better grow up to be a good kid.
You got your chance, kid.
Yeah, I was like, don't mess this up. It's going to look really bad for me. But the situation you just described just happened. A parent had it for their child. We're in a restaurant. Oh, your wife would love this. And then someone at the other table choked. And a nurse got up and did all the policy procedure. The mother ran and got her LifeVac that she had for her children and saved the 80-year-old guy eating dinner at the restaurant.
Wow.
And that's what the future is, man. We got to, we're going to stop the one child every 5 days.
Yeah.
And as we get them out there, we save more lives.
Look, I get it. I know there's so many communities. I'm doing air quotes, communities for entrepreneurs out there, all filled with their own version of overnight experts chirping at you from behind the screen. You got your Facebook groups, your clubhouse rooms, just experts galore. How often do you feel like you're being pinballed around from thing to thing and picking up a little bit, a little piece there? How much of that is actually making it into your brain and your fingers and your business and affecting your money? How many of these people are actually out there in the field getting their hands dirty and testing to find out what actually works and what flops? Well, in the copy chief community, a real community, you get shoulder to shoulder with the most active, successful marketers working in the trenches today, all while learning from industry legends who rarely teach anywhere else, if ever. Copy Chief is an amazing community, super newbie friendly. Also, you'll find, elite level marketers and copywriters in there. They're all working to become the best at their craft, get paid top dollar for their skills, stay ahead of the competition by keeping their finger on the pulse of what's working now. That's the X factor when you're backed up by a community and you can get any question you have answered by people who actually do this stuff and can tell you from real world experience what to do for your project, for your offer, for your funnel, for your clients. Man, you're unstoppable when you've got that kind of confidence. Go check us out at copychief.com/join. If you've never been a member, you're going to see what you've been missing and you're going to say, where has this been all my life? And if you've been a member in the past, I would invite you to come and check out all the new stuff. We've completely updated all the tech. So we're on brand new platforms. Everything is slick and smooth and easy to access. And it's never been better. Copychief.com/join. I'll look for you inside. So this becomes now just about awareness, proven,
Yep.
effective, miracles basically happening daily. So what are we doing? How do we get the word out? What's the next challenge you have as this becomes now a product? It's approved. I'm sure there's a patent existing or pending. Now, how do you start getting the word out?
Well, being that I was an air freight guy that invented a life-saving plunger, I wasn't really experienced at this. But, the initial started with social media. We dabbled in Facebook, then we had a Facebook companies and stuff like that. We've had a couple of videos go viral. There was a video of a mother who saved her daughter, her child in Florida that was caught on their home security.
Yeah.
The magic of marketing, that's your world. I don't know it. I wish I did. I'm trying, I'm learning.
Yeah.
That got the word out tremendously. I've been on a couple shows. Those always help but fade. The challenge we face is twofold. One, that the Heimlich works. So what do you need it for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two, it's a freak accident when someone chokes, but it's not. It happens all the time. It's the reason you don't know about it is because it happens all the time. The guy falls off his ladder and dies. It's not earth-shattering news. Choking's right there with slips and falls as far as a leading cause of accidental death, right?
Right.
So the commonality of it actually happening works against you because it's not earth-shattering news when someone chokes. 18 people a day choke to death. So,
man, is that global or is that just in the U.S.?
That's just the U.S.
Wow.
160,000 people a year globally choke to death.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Wow.
Over 2 million since I started.
Wow. Yeah, that's a really good point. It's selling prevention, and it's the hardest sell because everybody live in the moment and what are the chances? And, we want pleasure. We don't want to think about pain. And very interesting. And so, but you've gotten yourself, somebody reached out to me. That's how we're talking right now. So you got a team doing some good stuff.
We really had a godwink there too. Gretchen Rossi, one of the housewives of Orange County, had a scare with her beautiful little daughter, and she wanted her life back, and that allowed us to talk to her. And as you found out who she is, as far as the passionate mom and someone who wanted to spread the word, it was an easy fit because it started with her caring, and that's, to me, that's what we need. I want the truth. I want people that parents and caregivers that understand, and they're not just paid to speak, they're speaking passionately from their heart. So partnering up with her and her PR team was huge and really has helped, and mostly because I love to watch her, because when she does speak, you can tell it's not just scripted give me the next script. She had our beautiful little baby almost choke, and she really wants others not to have this happen.
Yeah. I have one other question about the practicality. There's a practice mask that comes in the kit. What do you do with that?
Well, there was a lot of anti-business things I did. Like I said, I made it last forever. I cut the price down. I included a practice mask so you could get comfortable with it. I wanted people to play with it. It'd be easy, like a fire extinguisher, put it on the wall. Heck, it wouldn't even have to work, right? You wouldn't even know. So I wanted people to be able to get comfortable with it. And the babysitter's coming, you can grab it and say, look, this is how you do it. About 8 seconds of training. Push it down and pull it. You got it? Okay. That was an ethical move. Every kit comes with an adult and an adolescent. So therefore, I won't sell them separate because that'd be good business, right? You could sell 2 of them. But I wanted to be able to cover your whole family. We just built it the best we could. Like I said, it lasts forever. The valve system is a lot of work went into, simple as it is. You can't block it. It's a ball valve. It can't fail. So my dad worked on the space program, so I was brought up with reliability being a very important thing.
Like that. What about getting it in? It seems like every emergency crew everywhere should have this on their truck. What does that look like to try to distribute it that way?
There's a little bit of myth involved there where there's some questions whether they can or can't have it, which was like, what are you talking about? But we're overcoming that. We're seeing a lot of fire and police now equipping with it. Almost 800 schools, because that's one of my passions, because it's critical every year. Kids die, choke to death in school every year since I started. It's almost 100 kids now over the last 10 years.
Gosh.
And it's very frustrating.
Talk about traumatizing the whole school, right? And everybody.
Yeah, and the problem why it's got to be escalated is you have a fire, you can run out of your house, right? You heart attack, you do CPR to sustain life. When you have no air, it's over. Yeah. You got 4 to 8 minutes and you're gone. And you can't run away, you can't sustain life till help arrives.
Right.
So when a kid chokes in school and the current policies don't work, and not only that, and this is one of my bigger passions too, is people with disabilities. The wheelchair has gotten very big, which is great for quality of life. It's very bad for choking rescue. You can't get your arms around them. We have to fight for them in any place where there's people with disabilities. Yeah,
that's a really good point. And even someone who can't get out of a wheelchair could save somebody in this instance, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It goes in both directions.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, Arthur, and it's amazing that you've done this. And this is you. I know you. I could tell just talking to you and in other interviews I've seen. You wake up every day, and this is what you do. This is on your mind, and you feel like every place there's not one of these, a life is at risk, and that's real.
Well, we have this. I don't know if you saw a picture of the hall of saves that I sit in every day, and I could see all the faces we saved. And that 2 weeks ago, got my car, drove 9 hours to meet a little boy whose mom saved him, and. Business challenges, you work 20 hours a day and you just want to throw it in. But when I meet one of these kids or get to hold them, dude, I knelt down and looked at him and said, hi. And he said to me, thank you for saving me. And he jumped in my arms and hugged me.
Oh my God.
And I'll drive 100 hours for a hug like that,
It's amazing.
Amazing. It was cool as heck.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on what you've done, what you're doing. Yeah. We were talking earlier. We'll keep talking about ways to help market it. Cause like you said, this is a real bootstrap thing.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for that you told me, and I can't wait for my new marketing person now that I have one to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah. But people just assume when you create something or you invent something that, it takes care of itself from there, right?
No.
And I think if anybody's, all you need to see is one episode of Shark Tank to realize how hard it is, even if you have an amazing, innovative product, to get it out to the market. And that's Arthur's plight now.
Yeah. So, and I think that just talking to you, I have like hope again. So thanks.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll put a call out to everybody listening to this. Like, please, you can hear that this is genuine. This is not like other products. It's LifeVac, VAC.net. And just go check this thing out. I obviously believe you should own one, but you put your creative marketing brain to use.
Yeah.
And if you have ideas for Arthur, and just reach out to them. They're real. They're small business. You'll be getting directly in touch with Arthur himself or somebody on the team. And let's just put our creative minds together, and we can all be part of this, and we can all save lives. So let's make it all our mission.
Man, that is awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. It was great meeting you. And I'm going to have our Sarah set up a follow-up so we can see how it's developing and how you're getting into more places.
Let's hang up and do it now.
All right, we'll do it. All right, Arthur. Arthur Lih, LifeVac.net, everybody. Go check it out. And this is an ongoing story that we can be a part of. So call to action. Go do it. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Hey, don't forget your goodies. Head over to copychief.com/copychiefradio to get some great free stuff to help you put the things you hear on the show into action for your business. Copychief.com/CCR.